Hey guys, what's up? This is Jordan Crook with TechCrunch, and we're here at the Raleigh-Durham Mini Meetup. I've got the co-founders of Digitalsmiths here with us. So we've got Ben Weinberger and Matt Berry. Tell us what Digitalsmiths is all about.
Sure. So we're the answer to actually finding what you want on your cable, satellite, telco, internet, video service. Rather than hitting that guide button and finding that grid that we think is somewhere between awful and bad, we come to you and we say, here's things you actually would like. Here's a recommendation. Here's a better way to search. All personalized, all just for you, so you can find exactly what you want on any of those services right away.
So when you first introed the company, I know that you said it was a little bit like Netflix. That's kind of all we really know in terms of getting these like hardcore TV and video recommendations. How are you different?
I'm going to let our tech expert.
Yeah, so essentially Netflix is a destination. We're powering most of the next generation discovery platforms for service providers and connected device manufacturers. But one of the things that Netflix laps is the bridge between VOD and linear. What that really means is when you want to watch television content, you can't go to Netflix unless it's in the VOD library. So we're taking all this information in about the user, how they're consuming content, and making better recommendations and better search for them.
And I also know that you mentioned earlier that a new tech startup that we just wrote about today can kind of figure out what's best for a group, and that's something that I've actually been looking for a while. But you say you've been doing it for a while. What exactly does that entail, and how do we see that in the real world?
Yeah, the idea is that if the three of us sit down, we all have maybe slightly different preferences on the kind of movies, the kind of TV we like. And the problem with something like Netflix is it just mushes it all together, and it tends to skew towards whoever watches the most. So if you've got a kid in the family, it tends to say, here's a bunch of Barney and cartoons that you might like. What we do is we say, here's your profile of things you like, here's what he likes, here's what I like. We all sit down together and we say, here's 5 things, 6 things, 10 things that we think you might like. So here's a bunch of movies that take all of our tastes into account. It figures out what we like to watch, and it makes a recommendation based on the blending of the three of us, not the fact that you happen to watch the service the most, or Matt does, or I do. So it figures out how to combine all that information, give you the best recommendation. We've been doing that now for probably almost 2 years. So it's a fantastic feature. Every one of our customers takes advantage of it.
That's awesome. And I'm kind of wondering who your customers are, because the entertainment landscape is changing rapidly. A lot of people are cutting the cord, and no one really knows kind of what the end game is going to look like, other than the fact that it's going to come through the internet. So, I mean, how are you guys prepared to kind of deal with this rapidly changing landscape?
It's a great question. The whole notion of cutting the cord, thinning, all these acronyms around what you're doing with your service, ultimately we think that you're going to gravitate to wherever you can get the best content the way you want it. So search, recommendations, personalization is going to be really key to all of that. We sell to cable, satellite, telco, just about every TV and movie studio in the country uses us. A lot of the cable, satellite, telco companies, a lot of the internet video providers use us. In very short order, you're going to be able to turn on your TV and you're going to be able to see our stuff in action across a lot of services. To our knowledge, we're the most widely distributed service like this in the U.S.
So do you guys actually have a lot of competition? Because I haven't heard a whole lot out of this space, and I'm just wondering kind of where you guys stand. Obviously, you said that you think you're the most widely distributed, but are you threatened by anyone?
As a startup or an early stage company, there's always people out there. We've raised $30 million to date through 3 rounds of funding, including Cisco and Technicolor. We have a lot of strategic partners out there. I think the people that we believe are the most competitive are those that you don't know about. You know, somebody in their garage that's going to start something that has a connection to somebody, and all of a sudden they become a big company. Other than that, we don't really look at the people who are in the space today as either directly competitive. Sure, there's people out there who've done it in various capacities, but they tend to be very specialized, very niche in what they do.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. We're about to go actually to the party, so we're going to have some fun, but we'll stay in touch for sure.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for Digitalsmiths.